Food is not a comforter. The old man likes to fight frustration and depression with eating and drinking, although you know perfectly well from bitter experience that the healing effect is only temporary and that you will fall down even deeper afterwards. It would be better, especially in such a situation, to eat little or nothing. When agitated, it is better to eat very little. To food applies as to so much else. If we try to comfort ourselves with earthly material means, we weaken our immortal soul. Only if we seek solace in the eternal realm, we strengthen the spirit. The way out is elevation, striving upwards, not sliding down even further. Saint Bernard of Clairvaux says, "To console oneself with earthly matters weakens the soul. The expectation of the heavenly ones, however, strengthens it." Instead of seeking refuge with eating or even with alcohol, you should follow the famous Tibetan mantra. Take refuge with the teaching, with the teacher, and with the community. Eating is not a pleasure, but a necessity. As long as we eat for pleasure, we are not on the spiritual path. Food is not intended to spoil and to pamper the body. Therefore, Helena Blavatsky advises, "Eat only when you are hungry, and drink when you are thirsty, and never otherwise. If some particular preparation attracts your palate, do not allow yourself to be seduced into taking it simply to gratify that craving. Remember that the pleasure you derive from it had no existence some seconds before, and that it will cease to exist some seconds afterwards." That it is a transit pleasure, that which is a pleasure now will turn into pain if you take it in large quantities, that while there is another object that can give you eternal bliss, this centering your affections on a transient thing is sheer folly. That you are neither the body nor the sense, and therefore the pleasure and the pains which these endure can never affect you really, and so on. Practice the same train of reasoning in the case of every other temptation, and though you will often fail, yet you will achieve a surer success. Contrary to the principle of simplicity is the custom of the time to dine in restaurants of choice. To the warrior of spirit, these distractions are an abomination. What kind of a person is he who makes a feast of the feeding of his donkey? The rays of the sun are dimmed by your banquets. In the new world, food will lose its importance in social life. You may meditate, surf, or study together, but eating together should take only little time. To walk the spiritual path means to seek higher pleasures than the physical ones. Pleasure at good food ties you to earth. Eating is also not a feast. Opulent eating in connection with religious celebrations is an atavism from ancient times when food was scarce. Solemnity is not increased but disturbed by eating. It can be better achieved by fasting. Sometimes the thinker, Plato, gathered his disciples for a discourse, which he called Banquet of Joy. Only spring water and bread were served. On such occasions the thinker said, "Let us not besmirch the joy with wine and rich food. Joy is above everything." Our religious celebrations, Christmas, Easter, and others, are downright degenerated in consequence of the large role played by food there. Through these practices, the spirit is actually expelled. We take a spiritual occasion as a pretext for carnal debauchery. It is not spiritual practice to spend too much time at eating. This time must be used for more important matters. The preparation and consumption of a simple meal should not take more than about 45 minutes. The time for meals must be shortened in order to preserve a human appearance. People claim they have no time for meditation, for the study of the Holy Scriptures, for training and service to the common good. May they shorten the meal times, then they can achieve a great deal. Friends, you find ample time for everything, but for the highest, you have only a few moments. If you had dedicated only the time you waste at banquets to the highest, you would have become teachers by now. At meals, the immortals keep quiet and behave in a dignified way. There is no worse lack of adequacy than to prattle at the dinner table about trifles. As you have heard, many people eat their food in silence or accompany their meal with worthy conversation. Before eating, you should create a sublime, solemn atmosphere. It is wrong for people to pay no attention to the consequences of eating while irritated or agitated. Very strong poisons form during this unwise activity. Many days must go by before this poison dissolves. The silence that ancient people kept during meals had a sacred significance. It is advantageous to pray before eating. The scientific basis of the table prayer is: the food is cleaned by the influence of good thoughts and put into a state of higher vibration. This changes its substance for the better, as the experiments of Masaru Emoto with water demonstrate. It is rightly said, man is a creature of habit. Our habits are our second nature. Of course, it does not hurt an ordinary man if he rarely eats a piece of meat, or drinks a glass of wine, or smokes a cigarette. With these small encumbrances, a healthy body can easily cope. It is crucial that we get rid of our habits, which means to replace them by new, higher ones. The smoker has to become a non-smoker, the meat eater a vegetarian. That is what matters, not a single piece of meat or a single cigarette. Everyone knows best himself when he has overcome his habit. If that is the case, but only then, you must not be a fanatic. You may, if goal fitness or courtesy so suggest, even deviate sometimes from the rule.